Hello, everybody. This is Gary Kay, and you are watching a special video edition of my Rants and Rave podcast. We are still doing some follow-up on ISE, the giant show about a month ago in Amsterdam. I'm joined today by with Karl Johnson. Karl is with Christie. Karl, how are you doing?
Good, very good this morning. Thank you. Glad to be here.
One of the big things on the show floor everywhere was all about AV over IP, and you guys launched yourselves into that market with the Terra product line. You and I spoke last year at InfoComm, and it was a big launch for you.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and it's really exciting stuff. We introduced the product at InfoComm, as you said. We were doing some basic demos of switching, zero latency, artifact-free 444 content with lots of control options and video processing. And then this past ISE, we went from switching, doing the demonstration of video walls and clean switching, and moving on to showing the multi-viewer functions. When you mix all these things together, you have quite a powerful system.
Yeah, and one of the things that's interesting about what Christie's doing is you are part of the SDVOE Alliance, which means that you're compatible with all the other SDVOE products. And one of the unique elements that you bring to the table is that you have a controller that allows you to build sort of virtual control and matrixing, software-based, cloud-based, whatever you want to call it, control of an entire system, and you're going to sort of demo that for us today.
Yeah, we actually, we demonstrated that. We have some live footage of that in the material we collected at ISE with rAVe, and I thought today it would be valuable just maybe to step through and with some call outs on a few slides of the software. It'd be a little quicker, more efficient. So I thought what I'd do here is there, and the big thing we're doing it with the controller is making a very graphical user interface, drag and drop, easy to use. We're bringing the experiences that we've had with other video wall processors like the X80 and the Phoenix for controlling systems like this. So what I'll do is I'll just share my screen here, and then we'll go to a few slides and I'll explain some things that we're doing with our software.
All right, that's perfect.
Cool. Okay. So we're going to run through just a few screens, and I'll talk about some elements that we're managing and advancing in our software. So let's see here. Okay, so the first thing is we're making, getting started on the network. I'll call it 1, 2, 3 simple, and really, simplifying some of the tasks that happen when you set up an audiovisual system on the network. And what we really want to do is eliminate keying errors, make it simple to address, subnet mask, and all that. So really we quickly discover the controller, set up an address, and then we go out and we're going to find all of the Terra transmitters and receivers, and then help the customer, pick, ideally in advance you pick some address ranges, but give a starting address, and then boom, hit up all the devices and configure them so everything's in the right, sequence and address class and subnet and so forth, so that a lot of times when you're fault finding at the end of a project, there's simple things that were missed at the beginning. So we're really looking to get past that quickly in the integrator experience. Obviously we log into the controller, or the Christie Terra controller, and some big things here is a lot of AV over IP products. You need products with hot MAC addresses to program them. And so what we're doing is we're providing a mechanism to actually program systems offline and then go to the site and associate them to devices when you do have hot devices. So this lets you reuse old programs, or it lets you program, let's just say offline, and associate devices. So what we're doing here is helping customers, integrators, streamline the programming and integration process.
Could this also be used to simplify when you have a case where you're doing the same thing over and over and over again in a facility?
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. So if you have a template, for a particular style of room, or, a customer with multiple locations, you can keep reusing the old program rather than going back and reprogramming, because that's just, the nature of a lot of products that I've seen. You need a hot MAC address before you can start programming.
All right.
Right. And this is kind of an idea of what happens. You've got a pre-existing program, and now you're going to, associate it to an existing or a hot transmitter receiver that's online. So really, when we move here, is now you have a system. I'm on a page where we assign devices or displays, receivers to displays. And so in this case, what you can kind of see is I have a system with 2 screens, let's say single screens, name 1 and name 2. At the bottom, you see the magenta line, the purple line with name 3. That's a 2x2 array. So when you get to this page, what you do is start, creating displays with columns and rows, and associate them to transmitters and receivers.
Yeah, but basically what you're doing is laying out what the screen's going to look like with multiple sources coming in.
Yeah. And so now and then you'd move on to what I'll call drag and drop, right? And so drag and drop of sources or just selecting layouts. And on this page, it's drag and drop. The next page, and it gives a little bit more information in that, I have a source 1, and I'm gonna associate video and audio, and I'm not gonna take drag any of the control signals over to the receiver in name 1. If I go to another display like the array, the 2x2, I can drag and drop sources or stretch something full screen. I also have an opportunity with, this is a multi-view or a single screen, I can stage. So I can stage 1 or 2 or 3 sources onto that display. And then I could be in live mode where they appear as I drag them, or I can be in preview mode and then I wait and then I push to the display.
And obviously this can be set up as a macro where you have just a button in the room and it just and it goes live whenever you want it to go live. If you want to simplify it for room control, I assume. Yeah,
absolutely. Each one of these, then you have an opportunity once you've created the arrangement that you save a layout, and then that's just a click or a double click to pick a layout by name. Kind of, I'll call that the video wall paradigm or the multi-view programming paradigm, and then an external control system can just call those layouts, right? With a quick macro command, as you said, right? So a big thing here is these AV over IP systems. Really, there's opportunities to build systems with very large scale to them. So assets in the system, transmitters, receivers, as well as layouts, everything can be assigned a tag, and that tag can be given a logical name that's based on the system or about the customer's business and how that system's been arranged. And really from there, now I can organize it by, if I think of the paradigm of a building or a campus, I've got a building, a floor, a room type, a source type, right? It might be a set-top box. It might be a computer. It might be a particular system on a computer, right? It might be a rack, right? It might even be a power strip. And really that allows, if you have lots of layouts, if you have lots of transmitters, receivers, you can type in tags and quickly find things. And so you're really able to manage systems of scale, program them, manage them. And as you move on to device management, if I have, let's just say, if I pick a big numbers like 1,000, if I have 1,000 devices, then, not only am I able to sort by, firmware or address or name, but also by tags. And really now you can start looking at the forest, instead of trying to hunt through trees in the forest. And really there's a tool for system management here that really makes things more efficient, managing larger systems. And then also, let's just call it streamlining workflow, is that, copying a configuration for a transmitter receiver. How am I managing the video, the audio embedding or de-embedding, the control connections or the EDIT and so forth? Those can be saved in a configuration for, a receiver, and then you make a format and then you copy it, bulk copy. So what we're really doing here is looking to streamline the workflow for our integration partners and make it easy to manage, systems with scale. And finally, there'd be a tag manager tree for that. So that's really kind of an idea here of kind of workflow. The other thing is, because this product works on a network, there's a lot of elements here to make this product highly secure. And it's in 360, I'll call it 360 degrees. It's more than just, let's say, encrypting communications. It's encrypting data on the unit. It's logging, who's accessing the system. It's password management, just like you do when I go to my bank. Every few months I have to change my password, and recovery techniques. So a broad set of security features, because as we operate in networks, our customers are more and more sensitive to managing the environment with protecting the data and protecting the system. And so that's a quick preview that's a quick preview of a few key elements of the software. I thought it'd be easy to do with call outs and a bit of discussion. rather than operating, we can go back and look at the ISE video for operating. But real excited.
Yeah.
It's fun seeing the software and seeing the customers start to use that.
Yeah, as you said, Karl, that we did shoot a video at ISE. You can find that at ravepubs.com/ISE2018, or you can just click on the ISE banner at the top of the page. And we actually shot a bunch of demos. In fact, one of the ones that's unrelated to the Terra was the Guardian, which I encourage you to watch Guardian. But back to Terra, I got one quick question that a lot of people have asked me because I'm doing a keynote on AV over IP for 2018. I kicked it off this week at the Almo E4 show. How compatible are you with the other SDVOE products? So let's say they've got an existing system right now where they've got a mixture of DVI gear product and maybe a Lona product or Aurora product, and they want to use Christie as well as your controller. Is that going to work fine? Can they use the other transmitters and receivers and kind of build a system with an assortment of other products out there since you're all SDVOE?
Yeah, the products are compatible on, I'll call it a baseline level. I think the easiest pieces to be focused on is the video and the audio.
Right.
The SDVOE system, all the content is packaged the same way, it's encrypted the same way, and then the API is the same for controlling, differentiates themselves. They have their own features depending upon their business and their products. So when you start looking at control signals or different unique features, those are the things where the control hooks you'd have to check by controllers.
Well, that's why I was asking you, because you have a very sophisticated controller compared to what most of those companies have. Most of them have done a really good job of building the transmitter receiver side, but not the sophistication in the control and the security. Because one of the aspects I've found in talking to a lot of the customers is that they love the products that are out there and they like the concept, but they're concerned about deploying it in certain applications, especially government applications where you have high levels of security requirements. And you have a very sophisticated controller. So that's why I asked the question. And of course, you can find out more information at christiedigital.com, where you have a lot of comprehensive information up there. So I appreciate this demo. This helped me too, because although I saw it really quickly at ISE, going through it like this screen by screen helps me to understand sort of the logic in sort of step, as you said, step 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3 step, whatever you call it. Simple 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3 simple, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That worked out really well. So thank you very much, Karl. Thanks for doing that for us.
All right, thank you.
Then thanks for watching. Of course, you can see all of our ISE coverage at ravepubs.com, and then just click the ISE button. And we shot probably about 10 videos at the Christie booth, and they won a few awards for some of the projection technology that they have out there, as well as the Guardian, which was probably one of my favorite products at the entire show, or favorite demos at the entire show. So check that out. And Karl, thank you very much and congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.